Welcome back. It's now 6 minutes past 7 a.m. Welcome back on this 22nd day of October 2025. Welcome to the program. My name is Victor Low. It's The Viewpoint. And let's talk about things that are actually shaping our country. A lot has been happening in the country in the past 1 week, and so much more is still happening. But I want us to get into the discussion, talk about what is what's flying around. My able panel is already on set. Let me start with Daniel Juma Mondi, who is the Africa representative of the Global Peace Foundation. Juma, good morning.
Good morning, Victor.
Good morning, our viewers.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Asante sana. And next to him is Lucy Moria. Lucy Moria, she disappeared from Jerusalem, but she's new to Jerusalem. She just wandered a bit, but she's back. Lucy, good morning.
Good morning, Victor.
Karibu
good
sana.
Morning, Kenyans.
Asante sana.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the anti-aging. And you tell us how many older people we have in the country now. Do you have the statistics?
It's not anti, it's pro-aging.
Pro-aging.
Yes. They're about, about 3% of the total population.
Okay.
As per last
Census.
Mm-hmm. But by 2050, we are looking at a very big, huge crowd. That will be like crisis. Yes.
Okay.
There will be more than the newborns, the older people.
You'll have to tell us what you've been doing, because it seems there's a lot of neglect. They feel neglected in the society, the older generation.
Yeah, I've done quite a lot. I've been advocating, I've been sensitizing, you know, I've been all over the country. I've been here several times, and a lot of people didn't seem to see the problem. But I'm happy that they're seeing now. You can see even on the media, more people are talking about it. Before, none used to talk about it. They thought the older people, because I mean, our culture says the older people should be taken care of by their children, which is not applicable today because of migration to towns and lack of employment and all that.
Things have changed.
Yeah, it's a change of everything.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Asante, we'll talk about that much more later. And Mark Ndingo is also not new to Jerusalem. Mark Ndingo, good morning.
Good morning, Victor.
How is, you had a very good guest in Kitui over the weekend.
we had the whole country in Kitui at on Monday when we had the Mashujaa Day. Yeah, at least we celebrated together with the president.
Yes.
Yeah, and
what are the goodies?
Also came with some goodies. Yeah, we're having a new airstrip. we have a new stadium in Thokwe. Yeah, some roads have been tarmacked, and we are expecting more to be tarmacked. Yeah, I think we are benefiting from the visit.
That is what's needed.
Yeah.
Karibuni sana. Let me start with the front page of the local daily. Starting with the Standard, Out with the Freedoms. That is on the front page of the Standard. There you have it, Out of the Freedoms. The 8 bills that were sent to by the president on the 15th of this month, that is last week on Wednesday, a week later, is now bringing a lot of debate. The Standard says that 4 hours after Raila Odinga's death, President William Ruto signed 8 controversial bills into law. Measures critics say that betray the very freedoms Raila spent his life defending. Among them is the new Cybercrimes Act, which, while tightening safeguards against online fraud and harassment, hides vague clauses that could muzzle free speech and silence dissent. Former Chief Justice David Maraga has condemned the move as a mockery of Raila's legacy and announced plans to challenge the laws in court. This is what I'm talking about. The Cybercrimes Act, and some of the implication is that it criminalizes publishing, quote unquote, false digital information, threat of up to 3 years imprisonment or fines of 5 million shillings. Number 2, vague definition of cyber harassment targets critics and activist opposition figures, handing them jail term of up to 5 years or 10 million shillings fine. We'll get more into details with that. On the front page of the Star, an appeal task, Uburu fights to steady ODM. Parties grappling with emerging crisis in post-Raila era. So that is what is here. And we have got 3 gentlemen who are on the front page. That is Edwin Sifuna, the SG. We also have Abdul Samad Nasir, who is Governor of Mombasa, as well as Opiyo Wandayi, the CS for energy, and also certain figures, which is also on the front page of the Daily Nation, more or less the same thing. What did Raila say? That's on the front page of the Daily Nation. What did Raila say? Orange Party split by wrangles on its 20th anniversary. Factional wars within the Orange Democratic Movement have intensified, with rivals clashing on the political direction decreed by party leader Raila Odinga, who died last week on Wednesday. The dispute is on the outfit's commitment to the broad-based government and subsequent support for President William Ruto's re-election. Twin issues over which each side is conveniently interpreting Raila's word to its advantage. But the question the Standard is, the Daily Nation is asking, but what was his wish? That is the story on the front page and actually now fleshed in the inner pages. Let me start with you, Daniel. I mean, is it too soon to start talking about the cracks of Raila? But even as you answer that question, why they talk about the split in the first place?
Yeah, of course. And first, let me register once more my condolences to the family, to the nation, as we continue to mourn Raila.
Yeah.
Raila, of course, as you know, was an extremely controversial figure. There are people who loved him, there are people who did not love him as much. But we all agree that he was one of the most consequential leaders that this country has ever had.
Yes.
And so we expect that even in his burial, and I was there during his burial, politics has to take center stage at his burial. So politics will not stop for 30 days before it continues. And already, as you can see, ODM, there's a big discussion, and the nation is asking, what did he say? And
people have having different interpretations.
Yes, and it is all going to be left to interpretations.
Yeah.
And because most of the time, Raila said a lot of things. You know, if you take, yesterday I saw one video going online where he was saying, something different, to what the broad-based people would want to say that he said. However, the people in the broad-based government, the fact that Raila was working with the President Ruto, basically the fact for me that's the most important thing that he would say, because they always say that you say something. The most important thing is your statement you make with your action. What action did you leave? What I know is that most of the Luo people, where I come from, I come from Kenya, are saying that, of course, Raila left them in the broad-based government, and so that is where they are. That is a fact. And so unless someone, comes and removes them from there, but that is where they are at the moment. Again, you must know that Raila was a man of the people. He was the people's president.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that Raila would do would be ask the people, where would you want to go? So even as much as people would want to say what Raila said, but the most important question would be, what do the people want? And for me, I know that the people, every Kenyan people, they just want that politics to translate into economic development. They want good roads. They want peace. They want their lives to improve. And so if President Ruto is able to ensure that he delivers to the people, he delivers the roads, he delivers electricity, he delivers, people need to have money in their pockets, food on the table. For me, that is the most important thing. It doesn't matter what Raila said. Raila may have said something and meant something else, but President Ruto must take this opportunity to know that even Raila, his politics was pegged on the people. The fact that the fact that he had the people behind him, forced his rivals to actually have a handshake with him.
Yes.
Because he had the people behind. In this country, and in politics, they say you either have the people or the money. you know. So Raila had the people, you know, and that is why every rival, you know, from Kibaki's time, even from President Moi, Kibaki, from Uhuru, and even right now, President Ruto, you know, they had to make a deal with him because he had the people. And if you don't have him around, then it is not really easy to govern. And so the conversation will continue as days go by. Yeah. But I am very sure that that Kenyans will be able to of course respect the legacy of Raila Odinga. But then at the end of the day, the nation must move on. We have to move on. We must learn from Raila Odinga, but the nation must move on. And the most important question, as I say, is what would the people say? What do the people of Kenya want? Election is about the will of the people. And usually the will of the people must be expressed in the ballot. Yeah. At the end of the day, the people of Kenya must get an opportunity to express their will through the ballot come 2027.
Okay. Lucy, you said Raila gave you a name. You'll tell us that name that you're given later on. But it seems that Raila's name is not leaving the stage anytime soon. I mean, it's just 2 days ago that he was laid to rest, but the headlines, he's still making headlines posthumously.
Raila's name cannot leave the stage, not very soon and not in the near future. Before we continue, for who Raila is to me, I may ask you, we take a minute of silence, because it's the first time we've been here on the show since he died. So may we take a minute?
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. So to Mama Aida and the family, my condolences to you and the entire followers of Raila, like myself. Raila was people's president. Raila was, you like him or you don't like him, you still talk about him. Raila, whether you are opposing or proposing him, you talk about him. So Raila remains Raila, and you remain Raila for a long time. Baba is not just something that can pass by. And it's unfortunate that some people are even talking ill of him when he's not just, he has not even rested. And so about the old DM cracking and people saying what Baba said, Baba being a people's president, and he always consulted people in whatever he did. I met him several years, almost 20 years ago, and they have been around him. And whatever Baba did was about the people of Kenya. And so the very last time statement that the Baba made, it was, who said? That's what the Baba said. And the Kenyans heard what the Baba said. The rest of what we are being told, the Baba said where people should stay. Maybe a few people would want to stay where he wants them to stay. Yeah. But to the Kenyans and to the Kenyan orphans and the followers of Raila, what we heard Baba say, it is saying ODM must remain united. ODM should prepare for 2027, whatever preparation was. And then finally he said, it's not even a month ago. And then he said, who said? People should not put words into his mouth. He has not made any conclusions. So to me, any conclusions are sideshows. If we are to get or to finalize what Baba would want, it is asking the people that he represented. It is waiting for Baba. Let us mourn Baba for now, and the other politics can come later on. At the moment, like you said, Olo, it's like a break. It's like the power is off. Yeah. You know, when the power goes, what happens? There is a blackout. At the moment, we're in a blackout. At most Kenyans, they might not be everyone. There are those who could be celebrating, like those who we are hearing carelessly talking, whatever they are talking. We are mourning right now. The sideshows of what should happen where ODM, we should wait. At least even the 7 days are not over, you know? So right now there's no messages of saying what Baba said, what Baba said about what will happen to ODM members. No. If people are talking about what Baba told them, where they want to be, they can be there individually. But the Kenyan followers of Baba, we are still waiting to be consulted and to be given the direction. By right now it is Oburu who should be, because he's a party leader.
Yeah.
So otherwise, other than that, we are not yet ready. We are mourning Baba, and that's where we are.
That's where we are.
And that's the only thing that we are expecting now, like what the president should be telling us as part of mourning Baba. It is making things easier for the people of Kenya the way Baba wanted. We don't want any more stress outside what Baba wanted. Anyone who is talking anything outside what Baba wanted, the biggest wish for Baba was the people of Kenya to live out of poverty, to have good education, those are the educations that he's been talking about. So let us mourn Raila by respecting what he has been doing, not what he said actually. What matters is what he did, and he did it for the people of Kenya. Yeah.
You know what, Mark? The biggest issue here is the wars that started moments after he was buried. And it's all about whether ODM should stay in government or post 2027. So everybody's coming with his or her own interpretation, and now that's where the problem is. But there is that loud silence from Baba, who can actually tell us what he meant. Too bad he's not here to tell us what he meant. Many people would say that Raila used to play his politics and his cards close to his chest. I think that's why even most members of ODM and even the public are getting confused what exactly he meant, what he was looking forward to, and perhaps what was coming ahead of 2027. But my question is, so now, what next? Because we are having these conversations. It's alleged that we have got different factions already in ODM. How is it going to be? I mean, it's barely 3 days since Baba was laid to rest, and why there's so much interest in ODM?
Thank you, Victor. Let me first condole with the family. Yeah, and Kenyans, for we've lost a great leader. I think what is happening was expected even before Raila died, because we could see the infighting among the leaders. If you look at the ODM, you'll find even before we lost the party leader, there were two factions, and there is the side of Sifuna and the other faction of those in government, the so-called experts. So we are looking at ODM as a party that has seen, it has gone through so much for the last 15 years or so. And if I were to be asked, I think after the death of Raila Odinga, we are expecting to see undivided ODM, because even before we finish the mourning of Raila, you've seen there are two different factions of the Raila's direction. This side which is saying Raila left them in the broad-based government, and they should continue to work with the government. And there's also this other section which is saying Raila had indicated that after 2027 they were going to have a new cooperation or agreement or sort. So we expect to see a lot of different fashions of interpretation of where Raila wanted them to go. But one thing remains for sure, because one thing we are sure of is, if Raila was to be alive in 2027, I'm sure he was going to go with the people, because we've seen him always. He has always listened to what the people want, and I think the side Raila was supposed to go was the side of the people. So I think we are expecting to see undivided ODM. As you heard even during the burial, the president was very categorical. He said he is not going to allow ODM to be taken away from the government. And that tells you that he's going to be involved in who is going to lead the party. Yeah.
Daniel, we can still say that what we're seeing happening right now is now coming out in the open because of Baba's demise. But can we now confirm that there had been, or there has been, some cracks in the ODM, only that perhaps Baba tried to calm the nerves and the noise in the ODM post the agreement with the president? So now that he is no more, so everything is now glaring open.
I think ODM itself, just like its name, is a democratic party, the Orange Democratic Party, and so Baba did not see the need of clamping down on dissent. You know, he allowed everyone in ODM to speak their mind freely, and he did not punish them. You know, here he was, for example, when they were signing this MOU, the 10-point plan with President Ruto. You know, he did not. We had, of course, the likes of Secretary General Sifuna. He was there to sign it, right?
Yes.
But then, you know, he was free to speak out his mind. You know, we had others also supporting, others against it. But then Raila Odinga, being the man that he is, did not punish those who were speaking out, because this country, you have to know, Victor, freedom of speech. You know, for a time we did not have, you know, the luxury of freedom of speech.
Yeah.
For the time you spoke your mind, you even thought your mind, you would be arrested just for speaking. And so this is one of the things that Raila Odinga was fighting for. He risked his life for the freedoms, freedom of conscience. You know, so he did not believe that you should be punished for thinking or for speaking your mind. And so you see, he allowed. Even though some people within the party were against Sifuna, you know, for speaking his mind, but he did not, you know, punish him for that. So so I think that is who Raila is, and that is the party, the ODM party. The ODM is a democratic party.
Yeah.
It allows for freedom. It's a big house. It is the largest party, as they say, in Africa, north of Limpopo, as they would say. And also you need to know that all these leaders are members of ODM. President Ruto himself is a founder member of ODM. You know, he's a life member. I remember I was an ODM. I mean, I was a life member of ODM. Life means before you die. So you may leave and go, but you still a member. So when you heard President Ruto's speech during the burial, saying that either ODM will form the next government or will be part of the next government, you never know. He may be thinking of maybe running in ODM because he is a life member.
Why ODM? We have almost 100 political parties in this country.
Because ODM is, like they say, the largest party.
Yeah.
It has membership not just in the Luo region, Nyanza region, but also we have ODM in Northeastern, we have ODM in Coast, we have ODM everywhere. You get my point?
Yes.
And so it is the most, how do you call it? The most attractive party for any presidential candidate. So if President Ruto, you know, decides to run on ODM, then he's assured of the support, the Luo, the Nyanza region.
I want to take a break. Yeah. I want to take a break, but somebody would argue a party is a party, an individual is an individual.
Yes.
So what happens? To go or to join or not to join? And the same question I will ask the two of you. Why ODM? I mean, we've seen several political parties being formed 3 or 4 months to an election, and they end up winning an election. But why ODM? We'll talk about that when you come back. Stay with us. All right, welcome back. Okay, so the question is, what did Baba say? Exactly, what did Baba say? We are all having our own interpretations. Lucy.
What did Baba say? Baba said no one should put words into his mouth, and he has not said anything so far until the people of Kenya or the followers of ODM are consulted. And we have not yet consulted. Unfortunately, Baba left before we did that, even before we celebrated the 20th anniversary. And like the saying goes, when the deal is too big, think twice. Why would people all of a sudden be interested in ODM? Like someone just said, you are married in a home and you left many years. And again, all of a sudden, you come and expect people to have trust in you. How? And it's not about when the party was started that makes someone win. Although you just said that there are parties which are started, formed 3 months before the election, of which actually, so far in Kenya, even parties don't mean anything as far as the elections are concerned. It doesn't. People don't really, maybe Baba's party, and it's because of Baba.
Yeah.
And like my colleague here said, ODM and cracks, even before Baba left. And I wouldn't even call them cracks. It's ODM was a democratic party, and that's what Baba stands for. People, they have freedom of speech. They can say whatever they want. And that's why you can't say he didn't punish. Why would he punish Sifuna? Sifuna is the SG, and always who speaks for the party is the SG, and always even Baba says what Sifuna is saying. It speaks on behalf of the party. Who else would be speaking on behalf of the party more than Sifuna? And if Sifuna honestly was saying anything bad about the party, Baba would not actually would have cautioned the party leader, but he never did. He just started saying, what did I say? Who said that? That is the last words of Baba to the ODM followers and to Kenyans. And now for people to swear how much they are going to put ODM together, ODM is us. It is the people. ODM is not just a name. It's not the Luo Nyanza. ODM is all over Kenya. And actually before he left, like the Kisis, you can see they left. They have their own party. You can see the Luyas, they have their own formulation. The famous Tawe movement is moving very fast, and almost they are stricken Western Kenya. So with this kind of divisions, even if who comes to the party, it is just the people who would have just voted before who will vote. Nothing will change the people's minds because it was Baba. Whoever will be talking now is not Baba. It's people. People followed Baba. Without Baba, there is none of those influences are there. Yes.
I have a question for you, Mark, because we have got 2 things here: what Baba said and what was put pen and paper. The agreement, the MOU between Kenya Kwanza and ODM. What do we go with? What he said or what is formally put down and signed by the 2 principals?
Although, as a Kenyan, if I may ask, did you see or did you know what was signed? Did you know?
I saw in the media.
Yeah, it was
but did you hear Baba say, who said that? Did you hear Baba say ODM will have a candidate in 2027? We are preparing. Did he say that? Yes, he did. Himself, not what other people reported. What Baba said is what we are following.
Okay.
But whatever else you are saying about what was signed, that those are agreements, we heard what they said, but we didn't hear Baba announce this is what we have agreed.
Okay.
Yes.
Mark.
I think we are going to have a different interpretation in the coming days of what Baba said. But as you have asked, what they agreed with President Ruto was the 10-point agenda. That was what was put on the paper. But Baba being Baba is somebody who could not predict on the direction he was going to take. But as much as we can read from the last statement of Baba, where he said, who told you?
That ODM will not have a candidate in 2027.
That tells you that Baba had some other plans, which we don't know. We cannot pretend to say Baba was planning to take that direction. But one thing for sure is ODM had two different factions. The one that was in support of the broad-based government, and I'm sure as the days run towards the 2027 elections, with or without Baba, the faction that is supporting the agreement between President Ruto is going to remain with the government, no matter what happens. Those are the likes of the new leader, who is Oburu, because he has been very vocal on the broad-based government. And the other side, which was not, which was the side of Sifuna, and you remember, Baba did not even, although we know there's freedom of speech,
yes,
but you know, ODM, ODM is Baba. Baba is ODM. So if Baba did not reprimand Sifuna, that tells you Baba had some other plans of where he was going to, the direction he was going to take. So the side of Sifuna definitely is going to break away from ODM. And that tells you that though the president wants to have ODM in his government, he's not going to have it as he would have
as a block,
had a block with Baba. But without Baba, he's going to have a small size of ODM.
But was it going to be so apparent that even if Baba was to stay until 2027, were we also going to see the same descent in the party?
Yeah, we were going to see
two factions or even three.
Yeah, we were going to see the same descent. And what was going to happen was Baba would have preferred to go with the people. And the people, the majority of the people of Kenya would have wanted Baba to break from the broad-based government and support a different candidate, or he himself vice for the president. So it's going to be a difficult balancing equation by the president, because as much as he would want to have a united ODM, I don't see that happening. It's going to be a divided ODM. He is not going to vie with ODM. What is going to happen is the president is not even going to vie with UDA. UDA is going to break. He will come with a different political outfit that is going to have a collision with whatever ODM is coming with.
You just come up with something completely.
So I think
that is what is going to happen.
Let me disagree.
We were talking about the president running with ODM. Oh, okay. That's why he's an analyst. Okay, your opinion. Yes.
Allow me to respectfully disagree. I do not believe that ODM is going to break away in pieces. I do not believe that Sifuna is going to run away. But I know that this conversation will be very vibrant, in the coming days and months. Yes, it's going to be vibrant. But at the end of the day, ODM, most likely is going to stay united. You understand? It's going to stay united. That is what I believe. Just like I was mentioning it to you earlier on, there is word on the ground that, of course, Oburu is the party leader, but Oburu is just the acting party leader.
Exactly, yes.
Yes. There is word on the ground that Winnie Odinga died, his father died when they were together. Winnie Odinga has been the force behind, the father's, especially the recent, even the Gen Z, Odinga has had an effect on these Gen Zs, even the movement. And that is the reason why Raila Odinga was invited to bring experts in government that kind of calm the situation. And Winnie Odinga has been the force behind this. There are people who believe that Winnie Odinga should be, should take the leadership.
This is the assumption.
Yeah, that's an assumption. But then this is the conversation that is going. If you give it to Winnie Odinga, that means you bring in the youth bloc that she represents or identifies with her, and even the women bloc. And then you are assured of the Luo vote. And then, if you bring in all those, then that means, of course, Ruto has, of course, his Kalenjin bloc intact, then he has the Luo intact, then Kos and, part of the Luyas, and not, if not most. Then he has a fighting chance. What I don't want to say, especially right now, when you say that that Raila said, who said so?
Yes.
Definitely. Raila meant when he said that the ODM has to field the presidential candidate. There is no political party who can say 2 years before an election that they will not field a presidential. That is suicidal. That's political suicidal. So every political party must say that they will have a presidential candidate. But, you never know whether Raila meant the presidential candidate will be William Ruto. It could be William Ruto. It could be whoever. You get my point? So I don't want us to focus on that, on who told you, because definitely Raila meant it when he said ODM will field the presidential candidate. But you have to know that Raila's pact, where I come from, people believe that Raila's pact with Ruto has been more genuine than even the alliance with Uhuru Kenyatta. If you see right now, of course, the experts that Raila has, appointed into government, and much more. Even the state funeral that he was given, of course, even though he deserves it, even the way Ruto has managed the whole, funeral, people, in the Luo Nyanza feel that Ruto is a more genuine partner than the previous one. For example, if you look at Uhuru Kenyatta right now, in his speech, he looked like, he's a very good friend of Raila Odinga. But if you look at the way, the Uhuru Kenyatta administration, of course, treated Raila Odinga, it was actually, it wasn't
let me get your point on something you said.
Yes.
Now, so we have the Winnie Odinga factor here.
Yes.
And Mark is also saying that the president is not going to join ODM, is going to have another party, which is not UDA. Very interesting debate there. So what if Winnie takes the mantle? Will you see the same crack that we're witnessing right now?
If Winnie takes the mantle, I can tell you for a fact, there will be no crack. There will be no crack. All these, Wanga, Badi, all this, they will fall behind. Nobody will want to be seen to be opposing Raila's son or daughter. You get my point? That is the only thing that can keep this party together. And that is the popular saying on the ground. If you look at the way Winnie, when I was there at the funeral, when Winnie called the Luo elder, Kerr, when she was speaking, she called the Luo elder to come and actually make the chant. That was almost like giving her the kind of blessing. But look at Winnie. Winnie had the heart, Raila's heart. She carried it. She came with it. And, that is very significant. So within the eyes of the Luo people, as I know them, I'm one of them, if you give it to Winnie, and we have seen, of course, even President Ruto himself had said that 2027, it is time for a woman running mate. You get my point? So the Luos are looking. If you give it to Winnie, then you have all the Luos in your basket. You understand? That is what is going on. That is the conversation. But again, it is too early to have this, to start doing this. Like they said, we need like 40 days. To be able to talk about this. But then again, on the other hand, of course, Kalonzo Musyoka was a very, very staunch supporter of Baba. Was a very, very good, ally of Baba. But then of late, Kalonzo Musyoka has been seen with people who are not, who have been really against Baba. Rigathi Gachagua, you can see what the Nyeri governor has said of late. Nyeri governor basically is saying what Gachagua would say. You get my point? So Kalonzo Musyoka's problem is that he, instead of embracing Raila Odinga, following what Baba wanted, Kalonzo Musyoka has been, hanging around Gachagua. And so for the Luos, if you are seen with the Gachagua and the way they are doing that, like right now what Governor Mutai is saying, it's basically a turnoff. You get my point?
Yeah.
So Kalonzo had a fighting chance. The Luos really loved him. But as long as he's hanging around with Gachagua, it is a turnoff for the Luo nation.
Great insights there. I mean, so what would really save ODM, Lucy? Because two different opinions coming out,
so
clearly.
With Daniel's opinion,
yes.
Actually, it's like reducing ODM just to a Luo party.
To a family.
To a family, to a Luo party. Even if you look at the new leadership which is there, actually there is no one outside that faction. And that's why we are saying, you see the Western people have withdrawn. And
that is an assumption?
Of course, you have to assume first. It's not an assumption we can see. You can see the Tawe movement has swept Western. You can see kisses. Even you saw when Matiang'i went there, what happened. That is a true fact. There is nothing like we are just saying these things we have seen. So when we say if Winnie takes it, how about the rest of the Kenyans? We are talking like this is a national party. So we should be saying when we should be pointing other leaders from other places. Because even people like Kinanjoho, Kinoparanya, they are not anymore in the party. Since they became CSs, they are not members of the party.
No, they are in the party.
They're in the
party.
No, but they are not active.
I was in the funeral.
Okay, you were in the funeral.
I was in the funeral. The reason I'm saying this...
When someone becomes a CS, let me finish, Daniel. When someone becomes a CS, is not an active member. I mean, they are members of the party, but they're not leading the party.
Yes, you can
so
say that.
leaders from other parts of the country, we don't see them. So when we say, if Winnie takes it, and then actually you just said all the Luos, so that means Ruto is looking for the Luos, because we don't see him looking for, and then you say the Luos would like Kalonzo because he's hanging out. Again, that's a freedom Baba wanted. You can, how would you limit who to hang out with? Because if you're enemy, you cannot ask me because I hate Olo, I also ask you to hate him. So
that is the ideal. That is the issue-based politics that we want. That is the way politics should be handled in this country. But unfortunately, and the reason why you see Oburu is the acting party leader, I mean, you have to be real here. The Luo bloc is a very significant part of ODM. You understand?
So
if ODM lets the Luo bloc goes, the Nyanza bloc goes, then it will be shaky.
Let's say just trick ODM, reduce it to Luo Nyanza party. Just
no, it is not a Luo Nyanza party.
It is the way you're saying. If the Luo
Nyanza vote.
Yeah, the Luo Nyanza vote, and that is of course minus Kisii, minus Western Kenya, because even them, they are coming up with their own outfits. So we've been going that way, and that is what Ruto is trying to secure. Then he's trying to secure the Luo party. And even those Luos, actually I've met a couple of them, and they have been divided. They are also divided and very divided.
I mean,
someone like Orengo, that one is a national person who would have been the leader, and actually every Kenyan appreciates Orengo also for what he has done.
I want to throw this party. Yes.
I think I tend to disagree with my friend here on who is going to lead the ODM, because even before the president, we buried Raila, they had given the acting leader to be Oburu.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know what is going to happen. I'm telling you, the president would want to work with Oburu. He's going to continue acting, even for a longer time, because of one thing. Oburu has been very focal on the broad-based government, even more than Raila himself. And what is going to happen is that Ruto is going to want to work with Oburu as the leader of ODM than any other person. And what is going to also happen now is, most of the MPs, most of the leaders from Luo Nyanza, they were elected just because they were hanging on the shoulders of Raila. And now, without Raila, we are going to see a different crop of leaders coming from Luo Nyanza. the present leaders, you could see them crying. They were not crying for Raila himself. They were crying because they cannot win an election without Raila.
Even the CSs.
Yeah, even the CSs. And
we are going to lose.
In the coming election, we are going to see a different crop of leaders, and we are going to have a different ODM. A bigger faction of ODM is going to run away with Babu Owino. Babu Owino is going to get a good slice from Luo Nyanza because of the youthful nature of him.
Actually,
he's going to get some votes from the youth. And the Wazes are going to remain with the ODM, but the youthful leaders are going to run away with the Baba. So I don't see ODM remaining a united party.
Fair enough. Take me back to what you said about President William Ruto not running on UDA.
Yeah, President Ruto is not going to run with the UDA. They are going to have a different outfit because one is going to have a coalition with the ODM. That coalition is not going to be UDA. There is going to be a different formation. There is, even if you look at the last previous elections, there is no president who has run with the same coalition for 2 terms. He's going to form a different coalition because he wants to work with ODM. There is also the talk of him bringing in Gideon Moi. So they are going to form a different coalition so that he can incorporate Gideon Moi and ODM and other leaders who would want to work with him post 2027.
Should we not see any crack in ODM, Daniel? What would be the way forward? Because now there seems to be a confusion. Let me just say, and for the record, as you comment on that, I'm going to treat this as your closing remarks. There are 2 sides of ODM, 2 sides of the divide in the ODM dispute. One of them is the Orange Democratic Movement. Members who want the party to remain in the broad-based government include Chairperson and Homa Bay Governor Gladys Wanga, National Assembly Minority Whip Junet Mohammed, and Treasury Cabinet Secretary John Mbadi. Those opposed to the ODM-UDA agreement include Party Secretary General, that is Edwin Sifuna. We also have Siaya Governor James Orengo, his Kisii colleague Simba Aranti, and Vihiga Senator Godfrey Otsosi. But if we talk about Kisii Governor, over the week during Mashujaa Day, he said that he would wish that the president made a comeback to ODM.
Yes.
Your closing remarks.
So if you listen to Arati's remarks, it basically points you to where the thinking is. Like I said before, President Ruto is a founder member of ODM. He may have left because of necessity, but his ideologies, like he said in his speech, he's a political student of ODM. Actually, the reason why he won was because he used Raila Odinga's toolbox to win the presidency. And he has said it. He has said it. And so I don't see the president running away from ODM. And that's why he said that he will not see, he doesn't want to see anyone destroying ODM, which is his party, original party. This is where he learned his politics. And so this is my prediction. My prediction is that ODM is going to stay together. ODM is going to stay within the broad-based government. The people within the broad-based government are actually some of the most respected people within the ODM party. Now, if you talk about Babu Owino, and he's my friend, I was with him in Mamboleo, Babu Owino has a lot of support among the youth. However, Babu Owino knows that he has the future. He's the future in ODM. Now, Babu Owino has a chance if he is able to join the broad-based outfit, and work with President Ruto, because President Ruto has demonstrated to the ODM leadership that he can be trusted. The way he has conducted himself in the last few weeks when Baba died, it shows you that this is where he is, this is his home. And, for him to say that ODM will either form the next government or be part of the next government, And when you see a right is saying that they are welcoming him to run in ODM, that is the conversation. You will see ODM members calling on President Ruto to run on ODM. And you will see also other... And so what I'm saying is that at the end of the day, UDA may not be the party he runs on, but then it's going to be an alliance, whether it's Kenya Kwanza or they maybe call it another alliance. That is the alliance that will include UDA, will include ODM, and some of the like-minded party that will coalesce, under President Ruto, to give him a second term.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to throw a span in the works. We are talking about UDA, we are talking about President William Ruto and other members. But who is the patron of Azimio?
The patron?
Patron of Azimio.
Uhuru Kenyatta.
Are we not talking about him?
They are forgetting him.
Uhuru Kenyatta.
Are we not seeing his silence? And Jubilee had their SNDC 3 weeks ago or something?
Let me tell you, Azimio, and we give the other, but Azimio actually was a big letdown to the people, the ODM people. You know my point. People thought that Azimio, Uhuru Kenyatta, would be able to help Raila win the presidency, but at the end of the day, what happened. Okay. You see what happened. If we were Martha Karua as a running mate,
yes,
never delivered. A significant portion from central Kenya. For example, Kenyan politics is almost like that. Okay. But Martha Karua never delivered. And so I do not see Azimio, like I quote Kalonzo. Kalonzo said actually Azimio is dead. If you quote Kalonzo, he's already gone. You understand? It is just maybe on paper, but it is already gone. So I don't see Azimio playing, much whatever part in the coming dispensation. However, I know that of course right now Matiang'i is there, Uhuru Kenyatta is there, but Uhuru Kenyatta, of late you've been seeing him with President Ruto. Most likely, if it doesn't support the alliance that ODM has with Ruto, then he may likely go with Matiang'i and another alliance, which we never know. That is something that I really don't want to talk because I don't know about it.
Hypothetically speaking, what of him coming back to re-energize and to oil the splinter group of ODM? If ODM splits, are we able to see a reunion of Jubilee and the splinter group of ODM?
Absolutely. So Uhuru, we cannot ignore Uhuru at any one point. You saw him even in Nyayo, how the young people applauded him. Everyone applauded him. Even when he went to Bondo, he was really applauded. So that's another force.
And he went back the following
Yes, he went back and he went as Azimio. And so we cannot say Azimio. Kalonzo had no right to say Azimio is dead. It was not the end of Azimio. And the end of Azimio was Uhuru Kenyatta. So Kenyatta is not also going anywhere soon. Even he said he's not even dying soon. So Kenyatta is around and he's a force. Forget about people like Gachagua and people like Kahiga, of whom I'm going to talk to before I close. And so Kenyatta is there, and the factions of ODM are going. ODM will remain. But it will remain more as a Nyanza, not Nyanza, Luo party, and even that Luo party it will still be divided.
But ODM has structures.
It has. The structures, structures were Baba. It is Baba, I'm telling you. If it is Baba who is talking today, I would not be talking the way I'm talking. If Baba was there to say, because I knew, if I'm talking like that, we followed Baba. And when we see these differences, and then my friend like Daniel here saying, leadership goes here and goes there. I wish he was saying, even UDA itself, the leadership is not just with the Kalenjins, it's everywhere. So we should be seeing other people being incorporated. Okay. And that is not happening soon. We should see people like Sifuna's opinion being respected because he's been a very good Secretary General defender of ODM. But we see now people fighting someone like Sifuna. Sifuna has a crowd of people, young people, all over the country. He's from a different tribe. And just imagine if he goes out there in Eastern Province where he's really liked, if he comes to Western where is his home, in Nairobi where he controls, and talk to these young people. and look to everyone. ODM will be divided. It will be there, but more of Luo party. And people will be in ODM. That does not guarantee Ruto the vote. Being in ODM, you have the right not to vote. Sio lazima you vote where members of the party are voting. You have a free mind. You can go to the voting box and skip the presidency or vote someone else. So that is not going to happen. Okay. And Kenyatta is going there to remain. And now I'd like to talk to Governor Kahiga before I finish. He made a reckless statement yesterday about Baba, the dead. We as Africans, we don't do that. And it's unfortunate that he's trying to single out saying the Kikuyus have said. I'm sure the Kikuyus are not at war with the Luo people or any Kenyan. Your statement, Kahiga, was careless and cold and civilized, crude and African and inhumane, if I may tell you. You are not even worthy being called a governor. That's very wrong as a human being. Leave Baba alone. We are mourning Baba. Okay?
Thank you.
I'm from Meru and I'm not with you. So when you're saying, I'm glad you kusema mulima, you said the Kikuyus, of which I know even 90% of the Kikuyus are not agreeing with you. We may have differences, personal ones, but don't bring this one as a joke. There's another crop of youth also who are doing some nonsense like content creation, copying Uhuru's junior son. That's a sickness, and one can be. How would you do How would you have content in the name of just making fun of someone who has a condition? You can also have it. You may also be good today and tomorrow. Anything can happen.
Yes.
So those who are making fun of Junior, please, we warn you. And God is watching you.
Thank you.
Kahiga, leave Baba alone. Leave the Luos alone. We are not at fight with them. We are just exchanging. This is just politics. So you cannot just talk like you are not a parent. You are not an African man. You are not a leader. You are not worthy being called and governed.
All right.
Thank you.
Mark, you close for us in 1 minute. I know you can do this. So, way forward.
Way forward is I would wish ODM remains united. I would wish the president does not interfere with the ODM leadership. Let it take its own time and get somebody who is charismatic. Although we cannot replace somebody like Raila, but somebody close to Raila, because we want to have strong parties.
Who would that be?
There are people. We have Orengo.
Maybe
there's Orengo.
Give me 5.
There's Gladys Wanga. There's Badi. There's Pio Wadai. There are quite some.
Kalonzo has been his close ally and his running mate.
Yes.
I expected to hear his name there.
Yeah, Kalonzo has been. He has stood with Raila for 15 years as a running mate. And the last one, he was not even a running mate, but the campus voted for him.
Yeah.
So I would wish also the Luos return a hand. They support him in 2027.
Okay. Great. Gentlemen and lady, thank you so much. Based on that, the ODM sent a message based on what Governor Kahiga said, and ODM said that the ODM registers its deepest disappointment and outrage at the reckless, divisive and shameful rhetoric uttered by Nyeri Governor Mutahi Kahiga during a public event in Kieni, and he says that this kind of politics represents everything our country must leave in the past. Very quickly, there's a message from Senator Moses Otieno Kajwang that Raila, whose death Kahiga now celebrates, defended devolution to his last breath, that the position he is enjoying right now. And he says that if we had the power, we would ask God to send... Okay, I censor that. Honorable John Badi, the CS, said that when a leader stoops to mockery or celebration in the wake, we must do that. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Victor Lo. Daniel Juma Omondi, asante sana. He's the representative of Global Peace Foundation Africa. Asante sana for joining us. Lucy Moria says that everything must be intact, as well as Mark Dino. Asante sana for joining us. Nyameru, that's the way we used to call you. Thank you for joining us. Bye-bye.